You own nothing the sky cannot take from you in a single afternoon. Not your grain, not your roof, not your children. You are a Roman farmer, and today, like every day of your life, you are one storm away from ruin. Rome will put you on its coins. It will call you the backbone of the Republic, the truest kind of citizen. And it will do almost nothing to save you when the arithmetic turns against you. Let me show you your day. It is still dark when you wake. There is no reason to guess the hour, because the hour does not matter. You rise before the sun for one simple reason. Daylight is the only thing in your life that is given to you for free, and you cannot afford to waste a minute of it. You sleep in one room, all of you, your wife, your children, sometimes a grandparent, sometimes the goat if the night is cold enough. There is no glass in the window, only a wooden shutter and the smell of animals and old smoke. This is not poverty to you. This is normal. Almost everyone you have ever met has lived exactly like this. The first thing you do is not wash, and it is not eat. You go to the corner, to the little shrine, and you greet the household gods, the lares who guard the family, the penates who guard the food stores. You leave them a crumb, and you mutter the words your father muttered and his father before him. This is not sentiment, it is insurance. In your world, a farmer who forgets the gods is a farmer who has decided to gamble with the only crop he has. Cold water from a clay jug, straight onto the face. That is your morning. Breakfast, if you can call it that, is a piece of yesterday's bread, gone hard as a roof tile, dunked in a splash of wine that has already turned halfway to vinegar. You eat it standing, in the doorway, watching the sky go from black to gray. You will not sit down again until the light is gone. Now look at everything you own. A few strips of land, a size the state once handed out to old soldiers, a patch of wheat, a row of beans, 3 olive trees older than your grandfather, a handful of vines, a goat, some chickens, and 2 oxen. Understand this clearly. Those 2 oxen are worth more than you are. If one of them dies, you are in a hole so deep it can swallow years of your life. A man can pull a plow himself in a desperate season, but a man is not an ox. And a season spent doing an ox's work is a season your body may never forgive. You yoke the oxen to the plow, not the heavy iron blade you might imagine. Yours is an ard, a wooden point that scratches a shallow line in the soil rather than turning it over. It is simple, and it is cheap, and it means you have to cross every field twice. Once in each direction, just to break the ground properly. Double the work, for the same square of dirt. The sun comes up on your back. Within the hour, your tunic is soaked through and clinging. This is farming, not the green and gentle picture a poet paints in the city while eating the grain you grew. It is you, an animal, a stick of wood, and the dirt, from the first light until you can no longer see your own hands. And it is not one field, it is this one, and then the beans that need weeding, and the vines that need tying, and the olive trees that will need everything and give nothing back for months. There is always another task. The farm does not have an end to its day. It only has the end of your daylight. Mid-morning, a rider passes on the road, and you stop what you are doing and greet him with far more warmth than you feel. He is your patron. You are his client. And this small, oily little moment is one of the invisible threads that holds the entire Roman world together. Here is how it works. He is a wealthier man in the town. In a bad year, he might lend you seed. If you are dragged into court, he might speak for you. In return, you show up at his house at dawn to pay your respects, you vote the way he prefers, and you cheer his name in the street. It is not friendship. It is a debt that runs one direction and never fully clears. And both of you understand that perfectly. He rides on. You go back to the dirt. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you file the encounter away. Because in your world, the goodwill of a richer man is not a nicety. It is the difference between surviving a bad harvest and losing the farm. The thing that actually keeps you awake at night is not the gods, and it is not the patron, it is the arithmetic. Because you owe rent if the land is not fully your own. You owe taxes to Rome, which does not care about your weather. And you owe the man who lent you grain last winter, in the hungry months, in the long gap between when the food ran out and when the new harvest came in. A good year, you break even and you eat. A poor year, you borrow. And 2 poor years back to back, and the borrowing begins to eat the farm itself. And here is the thing every farmer in the countryside knows in his bones. A Roman who is ruined has one asset left to sell: himself, his children. Destitution can drive a free family into bondage, into selling a son, into working someone else's land with nothing of your own. The line between a free farmer and a slave is thinner than the blade of your own sickle. And you know men who crossed it. You watched it happen. It was not a story. It was the family 2 farms over. The sun reaches the top of the sky, and you stop, not to rest. You stop because even oxen must rest, and you would not dare waste on yourself what you would spend on them. You sit in the shade of the old olive tree. The meal is pulse, a thick porridge of emmer wheat boiled down to a paste. This is the food Rome was built on, centuries before it ever discovered fine white bread. Maybe there is an onion today, maybe a smear of hard cheese, olives if the last pressing went well, and wine, cut so heavily with water that it barely colors the cup, because drinking it strong is a thing for the rich and the reckless, and you are neither. And for a few minutes, with the porridge warm in your stomach and your back against the tree, the ache in your body turns almost pleasant. This is as close to peace as your day will come. Hold on to it. The heat of the afternoon is where your world tries to kill you. You go back to it in the worst of the heat, because the work does not care about the sun. And this is when the accidents happen. A slip of the sickle, a kick from a startled ox, a fall from a ladder in the olive branches, a stone that turns your ankle in a rut. There is no doctor coming. Understand that completely. There is no one on the road who will help you. There is your wife, a handful of herbs, a whispered prayer, and the stubbornness of your own body. A cut that festers can kill a strong man inside a week, and the fever will not pause because the beans still need weeding and the family still needs feeding. So you have watched other men die from a wound that started smaller than a thorn. And that is why you keep your tools sharp and your movements slow and deliberate, even now, even tired, even in the heat. Out here, carelessness is not a mistake you get to learn from. It is a sentence. Toward evening comes the argument. The boundary stone between your field and your neighbors has shifted, or seems to have, or he says it has. In your world, land is everything, and a hand's width of it is worth a feud that outlives both of you. Maybe it goes to the local magistrate, a man richer than either of you, who will weigh the case partly on the law, and partly on which of you is the more useful client to the more powerful patron. This is justice in the countryside. It has a price, and that price is very often paid by whichever of you is the poorer man. So you swallow your anger, because a feud you cannot win is a luxury you cannot afford. The light goes gold, and then it goes gray. You unyoke the oxen and lead them to water. You check them over, hoof and flank, with the same care you would give a sick child, because in the cold arithmetic of your life, they are worth more than the child, and both you and the gods know it. Then you walk the fields one last time and you read the sky, a ring around the moon, a certain smell carried on the evening wind, the way the birds are flying. You have no instruments and no calendar that means anything. You have only a lifetime of watching, handed down from a father who watched before you. And your entire future, the harvest, the debt, your daughter's dowry, the survival of everything you have, rides on whether you read the sky correctly tonight. Inside, a small fire, and one oil lamp burning a thread of oil you can barely spare. The family eats again, more porridge, more hard bread, and the talk in the lamplight is the talk of every night. The harvest, the debt, the daughter who is old enough now to marry, and the dowry you do not have, and what will become of her if you cannot find one. Then the lamp goes out, because oil is money and darkness is free. And you lie back down on the straw, in the dark, listening to the animals breathe on the other side of the wall, and you do the arithmetic one more time before sleep takes you, because it is the last thing you think about every single night. This is the life that fed an empire, not the senators in their marble halls, not the generals on their horses. You, millions of you, bent over millions of small fields, turning sweat into grain, and grain into cities, and cities into legions, and legions into an empire whose marble you will never once lay eyes on. Rome loved the idea of you. It carved you into its coins and its poems, the sturdy, honest farmer, the ideal citizen, the root of everything virtuous about the Republic. And then it taxed you, and conscripted your sons into its wars. And when you finally failed, it bought your land for a coin and worked it with slaves. You are the most celebrated and the least protected person in the entire Roman world. And tomorrow, before the sun, you will get up off the straw and do all of it again. Because the alternative is the one thing a free man fears more than hunger, more than pain, more than death itself. Losing the only thing you have ever truly owned, your freedom.